For some of y'all that are too damn young, y'all are not going to understand that there was a time where Jim Carrey was that dude. Jim Carrey was must-see TV. If Jim Carrey had a movie dropping in the similar vein of a Brad, a Tom, a Will, a Denzel, you had to go see it. So we're going to turn here to Variety, where it is being reported that Jim Carrey is back at it with another box office blockbuster motion picture. That's right, he is set to star in the Jetsons live action movie adaptation. Now, the Jetsons was something that I didn't grow up watching, a little bit older than me. I think it might have been like my dad's generation, but I've seen episodes from it, and I'm a decent enough fan of it to go and watch it. And plus, again, Jim Carrey, he's in a movie, I'm going to go watch it. Jim Carrey is in talks to lead a Jetsons movie at Warner Brothers Pictures with Colin Trevorrow in talks to direct. Variety has confirmed. Trevorrow, who has last helmed Jurassic World Dominion, and Joe Epstein are in talks to write the screenplay. No information on the storyline was immediately available. A little background on the show itself. The last Jetsons feature film was the 1990 animated Jetsons The Movie, a live-action version of the familiar family animated property, which first aired in 1962. I was wrong. This is even older than my dad's generation. Similar to what we did with Bruce Willis, we were going to talk about the top 5 Jim Carrey movies. I think I'm going to make some people mad with this one, but F it. Look, the man has a lot of great movies, so it's hard to start the list, but we're going to come out the gate strong with Dumb and Dumber. That's right, we're talking about the comedy duo with Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels going cross-country, two idiots going cross-country road trip to return a suitcase full of money to a woman that one of them thinks is in love with him. This movie is absolutely funny. Here's a test of a good movie, right? 20 years later, however many X amount of years later, right? At least a decade later, if you sit down and watch it and you still feel that same joy, you still get the same entertainment, whether it's supposed to make you cry or laugh or smile. If it still does that effectively, you know it's a good movie. Jurassic Park still does that for me. The Thing still does that for me. Now, number 4 I struggle with, right? Because it's either number 4 or number 3. But I think I'm going to go number 4 because number 3 is a little bit stronger. So number 4, we're going to give it to Bruce Almighty, man. Bruce Almighty was probably my first introduction that I can remember to Jim Carrey. Obviously, I was born in 93, so I really came of age, or I started watching Jim Carrey type movies in like the early 2000s. I think Bruce Almighty might have dropped in 2004. That feels right in my head. I'm going to do a quick check. 2003. So it would have been like in the 3rd grade. So this is the first time I see the man of 1,000 faces do his thing, the physical comedy that he brings to a role. And it was also my first time getting to see Morgan Freeman play God, which after that, he was my permanent God. I didn't care what project it was. If it wasn't Morgan Freeman as God, I didn't want to see it, man. But this is one of the funniest Jim Carrey movies. It's also the first time I saw gorgeous ass Jennifer Aniston, bro. This is a really funny movie. Y'all also get to see Steve Carell before he does his whole spinoff thing with Evan Almighty, but we don't count that because like the Dumb and Dumber 2 entry, it ain't that damn good. Like I said, I struggled with this. Put this at number 3 and number 4 only because this is a movie that came out before I was born, so I don't remember it as well, but I know it is a GOAT. It is iconic. You probably already guessed it. That's right. Coming in at number 3, we have to give it to The Mask. What is great about The Mask, similar to some other movies, is you get to see just how stretchy, how incredibly talented Jim Carrey is with his face and the way he can emote. I know they did a sequel with Jamie Kennedy, but there was something missing in the facial region and what that individual, what Jim Carrey brings to a role with his face, the way he can emote with his face that shines when you're playing a character that is as whimsical and cartoonish as the Mask character, man. I love this damn movie. This is another one that introduces you to a femme phenom in Cameron Diaz. Number 2, we're going to switch it up a little bit, right? Because what I find about great comedic actors is that they also make great dramatic actors as well. Joel in Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. For the longest time, this was my favorite Jim Carrey movie. This movie takes you on an absolute emotional journey. It has relevancy to things that people go through in the real world when it comes to couples. It's so good that I actually want to read the synopsis for y'all in case you haven't seen the dramatic turn. When their relationship turns sour, a couple undergoes a medical procedure to have each other erased from their memories forever. I can watch this right now, and have a good damn time. This is absolutely probably still my favorite Jim Carrey movie of all time, although we still have a number 1 above this. And really, you could switch 1 and 2, man. They're interchangeable. These are both 2 great projects with 2 great performances from the man that is Jim Carrey, but you have to give it to The Truman Show, man. Again, seeing an individual who is as funny as this man go from blending humor but relatability and bring into life like an individual who is learning that his whole life has basically been a performance, realizing that his whole world is a sham. How you navigate making an audience feel like you're actually experiencing that emotion. Oh my God, I've never seen a better performance than what Jim Carrey does. Okay, I'm not going to say that. That's kind of hyperbole, but it's one of the greatest performances I've seen. You talk about a great script, great direction, and a great actor. Like, it all came together to provide what is arguably one of the greatest watches of all time. This is definitely on everybody's top 100 list. This is definitely in the film library to be cemented as something that everybody must see at some point in their life. As you can see, it was a really, really hard thing to put together this list because every damn thing this man touches, especially during that 90s, 2000s run, was straight gold. Could do no wrong. You could see why he was up there with the biggest of the box office stars. I also want to give a quick honorable mention to several films that I was just like, I can't place it any higher than the other ones, but I understand why people would have it on their top 5 list. Honorable mentions to The Cable Guy. Love seeing him and Matthew Broderick play off each other. This is the first time I saw Jim Carrey be absolutely creepy. As a kid, I thought this was a horror movie. It's more comedic as I watch it as an adult, but man, there was something off about what Jim Carrey brought to that role. He can do dramatic, and he also can kind of be scary when he needs to be, as we saw in that one movie where he played like a serial killer. Also, Man on the Moon. I'm giving this an honorable mention. I've seen the documentary on it. I have not actually seen the film, but from what I'm hearing, this is one of his best performances, if not his best performance, which is hard for me to believe. When I've seen Eternal Sunshine, I've seen Truman Show, I'm like, how the hell does he top that? But apparently he went real method and delivered a A+ performance. So I've got to put it on the honorable mention. Me, Myself, and Irene, one of my favorite watching growing up. This is alongside Bruce Almighty when it comes to my first time seeing Jim Carrey, and then of course seeing him on Living Color. But it's also got Anthony Anderson in it, and that's a solid win for me. The split personality, the way that he can switch up, and like, dude, as a kid, I'm watching him play 2 different people, and I could have sworn that was actually 2 different actors, how good he was. The naturalness that he can do with his face and moving it and bending it. This dude is another level of creativity. So I say all that to say, cannot wait to see him as George Jetson. I am sure he's going to knock it out the park.